Frank had used the same bath mat for 11 years. It looked fine, right up until the morning it slid 3 inches on wet tile and put him on the floor with a bruised hip and a badly shaken sense of confidence. Stories like his are more common than most families realize, because the bathroom quietly becomes the most dangerous room in the house as we get older, not from anything dramatic, but from ordinary products that have simply outlived their usefulness. A worn mat, a slippery mirror, a shower curtain with no real grip. None of it looks like a hazard until the day it is one. The fix isn't a full renovation, it's 12 specific, affordable products that replace exactly the things most likely to cause a fall or a frustrating morning. Let's go through them, starting with the one item almost every bathroom has and almost nobody thinks to check. Product number 1, the bath mat. A bath mat's grip depends entirely on suction cups or rubber backing that stays flexible, and both wear out long before the mat looks visibly damaged. After a couple of years of repeated soaking and drying, that rubber backing hardens and cracks in ways you can't always see just by looking at it, which means a mat that appears perfectly fine can offer almost no traction at all. This matters enormously in the bathroom specifically, since wet tile combined with bare or sock-covered feet is already one of the highest risk combinations for a fall in the entire house. Replace a bath mat every 1 to 2 years regardless of how it looks. And when shopping for a new one, press down on the suction cups yourself in the store, or check reviews specifically for grip strength rather than just style or color. A mat with raised texture on top and a full coverage suction base underneath offers meaningfully more stability than the thin, decorative versions. It's one of the cheapest items on this entire list, and also one of the most important to get right. Product number 2, the shower curtain and liner. A shower curtain liner does more work than most people give it credit for, since it's the barrier keeping water inside the tub and off the floor outside it. Over time, mildew builds up in the folds, the bottom edge gets brittle from repeated water exposure, and small tears form that let water slip past onto the bathroom floor without anyone noticing until it's already a hazard. A liner should be replaced roughly every 6 months to a year. More often, if you notice any mildew that doesn't come off with cleaning or any stiffness along the bottom hem. When replacing it, look for a liner rated as mildew resistant and weighted along the bottom edge, since a weighted hem keeps the liner from billowing inward during a shower and staying properly sealed against the tub. This is a small, inexpensive swap, usually under $15, but a torn or brittle liner is directly responsible for a surprising number of wet floor slips that have nothing to do with the shower itself and everything to do with water escaping where it shouldn't. Product number 3, the toilet seat. A standard toilet seat sits low, typically around 15 inches from the floor, which asks more of the knees and hips to sit down and stand back up than most people realize until that motion starts to feel genuinely difficult. A raised toilet seat, sometimes called a comfort height seat, adds 2 to 4 inches of height, which reduces the angle the knees have to bend through and makes the whole motion noticeably easier and safer. Some versions simply replace the existing seat, while others attach on top of the current one and can be removed if needed, which is worth considering if the bathroom is shared with someone who doesn't need the extra height. Beyond height, check that the seat itself isn't cracked or loose at the hinges, since a wobbly seat undermines stability exactly at the moment someone is using it for support to sit or stand. This is a product people often wait far too long to replace, simply because the old one still technically works. But still works and works well for your body right now are two very different standards. It's also worth checking that the seat and lid close with a firm, secure click rather than sliding loosely, since a seat that shifts sideways under weight undermines the stability the raised height is supposed to provide in the first place. Product number 4, bathroom rugs. Without non-slip backing, decorative bathroom rugs placed outside the immediate shower area often get overlooked in favor of focusing on the mat right by the tub, but any rug that can slide on tile is a hazard regardless of where in the bathroom it sits. Many older rugs, especially ones bought years ago before non-slip backing became standard, have thin fabric or rubber dot backing on the bottom that flattens out and stops gripping the floor entirely. If a rug slides even slightly when you push on it with your foot, it needs to go, no exceptions. When replacing, look specifically for a rug with a full rubber or memory foam base, rather than the scattered rubber dots that were common in older designs, since full coverage backing provides dramatically more resistance against sliding. It's worth doing this simple push test on every rug currently in the bathroom, including ones that have been there for years and never caused a problem, since backing degrades quietly and gradually, rather than failing all at once. A bathroom that looks cozy and finished can still be hiding one of the most common fall risks in the house. Product number 5, the bathroom mirror. Lighting. Dim or yellowed bathroom lighting doesn't just make it harder to see for grooming tasks. It also makes it harder to judge distances and spot water on the floor, which matters more as eyesight naturally changes with age. Older fixtures, especially ones using a single overhead bulb, tend to cast shadows across the face and floor, rather than providing even illumination, and bulbs that have shifted to a warm yellow tone over years of use don't render color or contrast nearly as clearly as a fresh, properly toned bulb. Replacing overhead or vanity bulbs with brighter, daylight-toned LED bulbs, generally in the 4,000 to 5,000 Kelvin range, dramatically improves visibility without requiring any electrical work beyond simply swapping the bulb. For anyone who gets up during the night, adding a small motion sensor light near the floor avoids the harsh wake-up effect of flipping on the main overhead light while still providing enough visibility to move safely. Good lighting is one of the least expensive fixes on this entire list, and also one of the most directly tied to preventing falls, since so many bathroom accidents happen simply because something wasn't seen in time. Product number 6, the grab bar. A surprising number of bathrooms either have no grab bar at all, or have one that was installed years ago directly into drywall without hitting a stud, which means it can pull loose under real weight at exactly the moment it's needed most. A properly installed grab bar, anchored into wall studs, or backed with a mounting plate designed to distribute weight across drywall, should be able to support several hundred pounds of sudden force without budging. If there's any wobble or give when you push firmly on an existing bar, it needs to be reinstalled properly or replaced entirely, since a false sense of security from an unstable bar is arguably more dangerous than having no bar at all. Placement matters as much as installation quality, with the most useful spots typically being just inside the shower entrance and directly beside the toilet, positioned at a height that allows a natural, comfortable grip rather than requiring an awkward reach. This is a product worth having professionally installed if there's any uncertainty about wall studs, since the cost of a proper installation is genuinely minor compared to what it protects against. It's worth remembering that grab bars aren't just for people who currently need them, since installing one before it's urgently needed means it's already there and trusted the first time balance genuinely becomes an issue. Product number 7, the shower chair or bench. Standing for the full duration of a shower asks for sustained balance on a wet, slippery surface, which becomes more demanding on the body over time, even for people who don't think of themselves as having any particular mobility limitation. A shower chair, or fold-down bench, removes that demand entirely, allowing someone to sit comfortably while washing, which reduces both fatigue and the risk of a balance-related slip during the shower itself. Older plastic shower stools, if there's one already in the bathroom, are worth inspecting closely, since UV exposure and repeated water contact can make plastic brittle and prone to cracking under weight without warning. When replacing or buying new, look for a chair with rubber-tipped feet rated for wet environments and a weight capacity clearly listed well above what's actually needed as a safety margin. Fold-down benches that attach directly to the shower wall save floor space in smaller bathrooms and tend to feel more stable than a freestanding stool, since they don't rely on 4 independent points of contact with a wet floor. Comfort while seated matters too, which is where the next product comes in. Product number 8, the handheld shower head. A fixed overhead shower head requires standing directly underneath it and often turning or reaching in ways that can feel unstable, particularly for anyone using a shower chair or managing limited shoulder mobility. A handheld shower head attached to a sliding bar or simple wall mount solves this by bringing the water to the person instead of requiring the person to move to the water, which is especially helpful when showering while seated. Many handheld models include multiple spray settings and a pause function, useful for washing without needing to stand under continuous water flow the entire time. Installation is usually simple, often replacing the existing shower head directly onto the same pipe without needing a plumber. Though a slide bar mount for adjustable height does involve attaching to the wall and may be worth having installed professionally for a secure fit. Beyond the safety and comfort benefits, a handheld shower head also makes cleaning the shower itself considerably easier, which is a nice secondary benefit for whoever handles the household chores. Once water access is under control, what's actually on the floor of the tub deserves its own attention. Product number 9, the tub or shower floor mat. The mat inside the tub or shower itself works differently from the bath mat outside it and needs to be inspected separately, since this is the surface bearing direct weight on wet, soapy footing. Suction cups on the underside of these mats degrade the same way as bath mat backing does. But the consequences of failure are arguably worse here, since a slip inside the tub happens on a hard, unforgiving surface with less room to catch a fall. Run your hand across the surface texture of an existing tub mat, and if the raised nubs feel smooth or worn down rather than distinctly textured, it's past time to replace it. New mats should be tested by pressing firmly on several spots to confirm the suction actually holds against the tub floor rather than lifting easily, since some cheaper mats look adequate in the packaging but never form a strong seal to begin with. For anyone who finds mats generally unreliable regardless of brand, adhesive non-slip strips or decals applied directly to the tub floor offer a more permanent alternative that doesn't rely on suction at all. Either way, this is not a product to leave in place simply because replacing it feels like an unnecessary chore. Whichever option you choose, it's worth reapplying or replacing it on a set schedule, roughly once a year, rather than waiting for a visible sign of failure that may never come before a fall does. Product number 10, the bathroom scale. This one surprises people, but an old bathroom scale, particularly a dial-based analog model, often develops sticking mechanisms or an uneven base after years of use, which can create an unstable stepping surface even before anyone notices a problem with the readings themselves. Stepping onto an unstable, slightly rocking scale first thing in the morning, often while still a little groggy, is a small but real balance risk that's easy to overlook because a scale doesn't seem like a safety product. Digital scales with a wide, non-slip base and a flat, even platform are generally more stable underfoot than older analog models, with a raised, narrow dial housing in the center. If accuracy has drifted, or the scale rocks even slightly when stepped on unevenly, it's worth replacing regardless of how long the current one has lasted. This is a lower priority item compared to grab bars or bath mats, but it belongs on this list because it's exactly the kind of overlooked object that quietly turns into a hazard simply through age and repeated use. A stable, flat base is really all that's needed here. Product number 11, the bathroom trash can and storage. Small clutter items like an overflowing trash can, a wobbly storage caddy, or a laundry hamper placed in a walking path might seem unrelated to bathroom safety, but they're a genuinely common contributor to trips, especially during a middle-of-the-night bathroom visit when the room is dim and less familiar than it feels during the day. A trash can with a narrow, unstable base is easy to catch a foot on, and one that's overfull often has items spilling slightly onto the floor around it. Replacing a wobbly bin with one that has a wider, more stable base, and making sure it sits fully out of the main walking path between the bed and the toilet removes a hazard that most people never think to evaluate as a safety issue at all. The same logic applies to any small stool, hamper, or storage cart kept in the bathroom. Each one should be checked for stability and positioned deliberately out of the direct path most frequently walked at night. It's a small adjustment, but clearing and stabilizing this kind of everyday clutter is one of the easiest, cheapest fixes on this entire list. Product number 12, the bathroom door threshold. Many bathroom doorways have a raised threshold strip where the flooring transitions, and while it's barely noticeable during the day, it becomes a real tripping hazard during a groggy nighttime trip when footsteps are less deliberate and lifting the foot slightly higher doesn't happen automatically. Older thresholds, especially ones that have shifted slightly or developed an uneven edge over years of foot traffic and humidity exposure, pose an even greater risk than a newly installed flush one. A low-profile threshold ramp, an inexpensive rubber or aluminum strip that tapers gradually rather than rising abruptly, smooths out that transition and can be installed in minutes without any tools beyond a basic adhesive or a couple of screws. For thresholds that are cracked, loose, or significantly raised, full replacement is worth the modest cost, since this is exactly the kind of small architectural detail that people stop noticing precisely because they've walked over it thousands of times, right up until the one night it catches a foot. Combined with the other 11 products on this list, addressing the threshold closes one of the last remaining gaps in making a bathroom genuinely safer without changing how it looks or feels day to day. It's a good final stop specifically because it's so easy to overlook. And a 5-minute fix here is a small price for removing a hazard that sits directly in the path everyone in the house walks through multiple times a day. The bottom line: none of these 12 products require a renovation, a contractor, or a big weekend project. Most can be replaced in an afternoon for well under $200 combined. And a few, like checking the grip on your bath mat or clearing clutter from the walking path, cost nothing at all. What makes the bathroom risky isn't usually one dramatic problem. It's several small, ordinary items quietly wearing out at the same time without anyone noticing. Walk through your own bathroom this week with this list in hand, and be honest about how long it's actually been since some of these were last replaced. A safer bathroom doesn't need to look different. It just needs a few things swapped out before they cause a problem instead of after. If this was useful, subscribe for more practical ways to keep your home working for you as the years go on.